Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
Alright, I'll share with you a couple of examples of clients who share different problems, but the core issue was the same. Okay, see which one resonates with you. Okay, and remember, I've changed the specifics, just to preserve the identities of the clients. Okay, so the first one is this guy. Let's say, he was working for a local company. High position means below the owner, and he was not very happy because he was not growing and no more salary increase. And obviously, if you're below the owner, you can't expect a higher position than that. So I told him, why don't you look out for another job? He said, yeah, I did. He's saying, but either I'm not going to get the same level, like CEO or director, or he said the salary was not up to the mark. So I said, you can't get everything that you want, can't get everything perfect. But unless and until you make a change, nothing is going to change, And I also told him, the basic stuff. You get something near closest to what you want and work your way. But then he told me a sentence. He said, I joined this company when it was at zero, when I was the only employee. But today if I leave that position of power. And if I join, I'll have to prove myself from zero. Here I don't have to. So give me all the reasons, why joining a new company had its drawbacks. So then I told him, see, you can't have both. But it was very interesting when he told me, all the years, the hard work, the effort, everything, I'll have to give it up and start all over again. Okay, so that was the first example. The second one was a friend of mine, close friend, not a client. But he shared with me, let's say, example, he's an engineer. Now he has literally spent almost 20 years being an engineer. And again, he was stuck at the level that he was with his talents, his skills, whatever he had. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't go beyond that. You have your limitations. After you reach a certain point, no matter what you do, you're not going to end up being like the CEO of a global company or something. So when I spoke to him, he told me he no longer felt passionate about engineering. And mind you, he has been an engineer his entire life. So I said, why don't you try something new? To which he gave me a half-baked answer saying that, yeah, I tried new things, it's not working. And I said, you have to, like how you dedicated your life to engineering, your career, same way, you keep trying, dabbling, start from ground zero and work your way. But then he was like, man, all the 20 years I'll have to let go. Okay. Third example. This one was common with a student. This student, young man based in Australia, Indian origin. He studied let's say engineering or medical or whatever. So he had gone to the best schools, he had taken extra classes, had gone to the best colleges. Then we went down to Australia, went to the best college there, completed the highest level. And now after finishing all this, he realized this is not what he wants to do. So obviously now, when he spoke to me, his greatest fear is, I'm in a dilemma. I put all these years, all this effort, all this sacrifice, all the money of my parents, and now I realize I don't want to do this. What do I do? He can't start, like he told me, I can't start my education process all over again, 10 years or whatever, of after high school, that is college and all that. And one final one I'll give you is, this is, I think, an issue or problem most people face. Your relationship, if you get married very early, like I had this guy, he married his college sweetheart, whom he loved. Many, many years later, say 15 plus, now he's fallen out of love. Actually, it happened after the 5th or 6th year. What was that explosion? I don't know if you heard it. Big, like firecracker. Anyway, so now he didn't feel any love or passion, nothing. And on top of that, he got close to a new female in his workplace. And they have been going steady, although he has not informed his wife. So he was wondering now what to do. I spent so many years with my wife, and if I leave her, what will she do? How will we manage? What about the child? Okay. Now, all these examples, if you see, the narrative is the same. I have put in many years of my life, invested time, effort, money, got to this level because I stuck to this same person or the same stream or same line of work. I've achieved a high watermark, and now I've realized this is not what I want. There's a term called sunk cost. It's like the best example is that student. He did this education, all that. When I asked him, why did you spend so many years if that is not what he wanted? He said, my parents' dream. They always wanted me to be this, medical, whatever profession. It brings a lot of name, prestige. It's what my parents also were doing. So to keep his parents happy, he stuck with that. Even for that matter, the relationship. The guy, childhood sweetheart, parents knew each other, lot of emotional investment and entanglement. Now if he breaks up, all this he will lose, right? I think, one speaker said it best. It is the gift that you give, sunk cost is the gift that you have received today from your older self. Okay? And today it's, the gift that you received as your old self, which today is of no use. It's like having a technology device, which today has no software updates, no tech support. It's no more in manufacturing. Nobody uses it. But you're the only one who does. So now what do you do? See, that it's very easy. Like, this is one thing I've realized through my life. It's very easy to give advice and tell someone, listen, change and do something daring and break away from this and that and follow your dreams. And we all have different variables, we all have different criterias, different situations, plus, minus, drawbacks, strengths, weaknesses. It's not the same for someone in USA versus someone in Africa versus someone in Syria versus someone in India. You can't have, even two people in the same country can't have the same template. But I'll tell you what is universal. What is universal is, there is a price to pay. it is going to be uncomfortable. It is going to involve you sacrificing everything that you once had, giving it up and starting all over again. Is it scary? Oh, damn, bloody hell. I mean, just imagine I have put in like 7,000 plus videos on this YouTube channel. And one day if I suddenly lose interest and say, okay, I no longer feel like putting YouTube videos. I no longer want to speak out personal branding. Then if I go to a new channel, I have to start from zero, right? And there is no guarantee it's going to work or not work or succeed, or for that matter, even a relationship. Okay, you got married when maybe you are 18, 19, 20. At 20, you are a different person. She was a different person. You had different wants. She had different wants. You had different likes. She had different likes. You both were different individuals. But now, after like 15, 20 years, you realize, no man, this is not what I want. I want someone, who matches my personality, or who's younger, or my tastes have changed, my choices have changed, my preference has changed. And mind you, it's not just for men, even for women. I've had situations where a female say, he's not the same guy who I married. He's become slow, boring, or takes me for granted, or whatever. So it becomes very painful to change. It takes a lot of courage, and yes, the risk appetite. And I think the biggest question is, what if the new venture that you undertook doesn't work out? Like, in the case of my friend, I told you, he was an engineer for many years, and now he doesn't feel passionate about engineering at all. He just finds it boring. He tried everything from rebranding to positioning himself as a freelancer in engineering to a consultant in engineering, given his wealth of experience, trying a different job, different company, different country. He just couldn't do engineering. So then I told him, okay, try something new. But now he's afraid of, what if that fails? Obviously he has to, because he has wife and children. My only answer to people when they say this is, I tell them life is all about discovering yourself, self-realization, call it actualization, or evaluating yourself and finding out, is this what I want? And whether it's a career, whether it's a person, whether it's, whatever, your studies, if that's not what you want, it's all in your hands. See, why I ended my third relationship. She was actually my best friend. She stood by me at the worst of the times. She helped me, she built me up. And as a girlfriend, she was amazing. But obviously, I had to get married to her because we were staying in an Islamic country. This is nearly 10, 11 years ago when Sharjah followed the Saudi law in UAE. So Saudi law means man and woman cannot stay together unless they're married. And CID, or law enforcement official, one day caught me in the elevator. He was staying in the same building. And he asked me, where do you stay? And obviously I have to be polite. I can't tell him lies. Okay, this is where I stay. And the next thing I know is someone knocked on my door and asked, who stays here, under whose name? You're staying alone, or you're staying with, your wife? So she was my girlfriend. I had to say wife. And managed to pull a lot of strings, because then he asked me, come down to my office, police station, and submit your documents. Because when he asked me there, I told him it's gone to the embassy for stamp. Managed to pull a lot of strings and convinced her to get married, and because where else would I go? I mean, But I'm just going to escape. And I couldn't escape. He was law enforcement. He had taken my details. So, but however, when the point came for me to leave Dubai, I realized she wants to move to Canada or India. I didn't want to go there. And she didn't want to give up her career. I didn't want to give up my brand. But the biggest one of all was, I didn't see a future with her. A girlfriend, yes, but marriage and children, no. And in the end, I had to break up. All the sacrifice she put, more than me, all went to waste. Her heart was broken. But then what can you do, man? I had to restart all over again. Come down here and I had to give up my brand positioning in Dubai, start from zero here. My clients were there in Dubai. I didn't have clients here. I predominantly worked offline, which was 90% of my revenue, 95%. People physically meeting me going for seminars and conferences. Now, I had to do everything online via YouTube, which you're watching. So it was tough. Were there chances of failure? Oh my goodness. There's not a single day where I could just sit without thinking. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. But finally, when you make it a do or die and you dedicate nothing but crazy obsession to a level that is inhuman, maybe you get lucky, and that's what I got lucky, finally. So even with all these people, I told them the same thing. And that's the same thing I'm telling you. Agreed, you have invested time, effort, money. But then you ask yourself, you have this one life, just one. Do you want to live the rest of your life with this person? Do you want to live the rest of your life doing this thing you're not passionate about? Do you want to live the rest of your life being in a dead-end job with a dead-end colleague and dead-end environment and owner or whatever? If you value the rest of your life and you believe there is more to life than this, then you must. However, if you're going to moan and groan and cry and shout and scream, but someone asks you, why don't you get up since it's hurting you? And your answer is, no, it's not paining me enough. But it's paining me enough to cry and shout and scream. That's why many females who are in a abusive relationship, they'll cry, they'll moan, they'll groan, they'll take your sympathy, your shoulder to cry on. But then when you ask them, so why don't you change? Why don't you divorce him? Oh, no, I can't do that. So it pains them enough to create a drama. Doesn't pain them enough to actually take the pain to change. I'll give the final example, and this is from the words of Les Brown. Les Brown is a motivational speaker of the 80s. So he gave this really funny story. He said he was passing by with his friend. They're passing his house, nice big house. And he said in the front, at the garden or wherever, they saw this beautiful big dog, very big, majestic animal. But the problem was this dog was howling in pain. So he asked this guy, it's such a beautiful animal, why is it crying? Why is it howling? Why is it in pain? He's saying, yeah, he's in pain because he's sitting on rocks which are very uncomfortable and painful. Ah, okay, fine, he's sitting on those rocks. So then I asked him, then why doesn't your dog get up from there and change so that it will not pain his paws or whatever? He says, no, it doesn't pain him enough. Keep this in mind, huh? It doesn't pain him enough to want to move. And then later on start laughing and saying, but it pains him enough to moan and groan and howl and cry and shout and scream. That's the reality of life, and that's the reality of human beings. People moan and groan, bitch about 1 million things. The country, the economy, relationships, friendships, mother, father, spouse, career, employer. But then when you ask them, or even country, but then when you ask them, okay, so why don't you change? You make the change. Oh, no. It's too painful. It's too uncomfortable. There's too much uncertainty. I'll give up this position of power. Then why are you bitching and moaning, groaning and crying here? So, I will just leave you with this. In life, you need to ask yourself, what is important to you? Seriously. Is it time which money cannot buy? Is it your life which you have only one? Is it being truly happy, finding the sense of joy in doing what you love? Will you succeed? Could be. Will you fail? Most probably. But at least you know you tried. No? See, I'm not asking you to dump your wife and your children or your husband or your career and just go cold. No. At least take small actions. Like if you're in a career, let's say you're in a job, keep hunting for another job. Or try part-time. Or learn some new skill. If you're in a relationship, obviously you can't tell your spouse, I'm checking out other partners. But at least keep looking and step up the game a little bit and just see, does it work out? But be careful if you get caught and you're finished. I know I'm telling you to be not loyal to your partner. But not loyal to your partner is nothing compared to not being loyal and faithful to yourself. And I'll tell you, in time you'll come to know whether you should give up on what you have or give up on your dream. And yes, remember, I've told you, there have been episodes in my life after giving my best, I've given up on my dream that was being a DJ, being an anchor for shows, be it bodybuilding, be it relationships. It's only then you'll find change. Then you'll know for sure whether you want it or not. And yes, you'll find peace. Peace of mind. And you will come to know, yes, it's worth it or not. Otherwise, seriously, don't. Okay? This is what I want to leave you with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Yes, take care. Ciao.